Hey guys, and welcome to another brand new video. In this video, we actually have some nifty news to go talk about in regards to the PlayStation 6. Now, it's still a little bit away, so don't get me wrong, but we're now seeing brand new information discussing the fact that it's going to be number one, cheaper, thankfully, than the PS5 Pro. There's been a very large amount of influx of questions and concerns about that. And as well, number two, it should also even be faster, duh, but also utilizing different types of AI technology will make it even better. Now, we've been slowly seeing PS6 news, and I'll probably do like a nice little burst whenever big leaks come out, because there also might be even more additional information throughout the next coming days, so subscribe if you guys will want to, if you guys like the leaks and rumors and all that. But of course, as well, we're kind of like want to keep on normal videos too. Don't want to be too clickbait as well. But let's go talk about some big news. Subscribe if you guys want. We have a lot of cool projects still in the works. I keep saying that, so don't mind me. We're getting the groove over here. And of course, keep on supporting up Team of Water if you guys want to, in honor of Mr. Beast. Shout out to them and anyone who has donated so far on their overall charity goal. So, hello. So we have some new articles coming out, new leaks, and just information on the PlayStation 6. And this is a big one, because I think most people like consoles, especially if you're watching my channel, or are gamers. But we also want to make sure we're not spending too much money. We've seen price increases on the Xbox Series X recently. We've seen price increases on the old Nintendo Switch. Like, literally like today. Like, I think today or tomorrow is when it's going into effect. And people don't want to spend more money. They want things more optimized. I'm with y'all. So this will be faster than the PlayStation 5 Pro, with the leakers now suggesting that the PlayStation 6 will be cheaper thanks to its AMD chip and could be here as well by 2028. Now, that's getting close. 2 years away, rounding up, like 2.5 years away, but it's not enough for me to be like super farming it on YouTube and stuff. But there is information coming out too as well. So Sony is allegedly placing heavy emphasis on cost constraints. This is money. This is literal money. This is money in our pockets. I like seeing this and I like reading this. So a pretty sizable PS6 leak just dropped. And if anything, like I said, we can go and do a little bit more information tomorrow or the next video, so subscribe. PS6 just dropped, and it suggests that the next generation console will be cheaper and also faster than the PS5 Pro, which is also crazy too, because I think that would also tone down the interest in the PS5 Pro. Now, for the next 2-3 years, and obviously beyond, because they'll be usable for probably at least the next 8 years, realistically, based on how the PS4 is still in production, games are being made for it, and the install base is so large. But either way, this I think will probably cut down a lot on PS5 Pro users for anyone who doesn't mind waiting or already has a PS5. The lower MSRP and performance uplift is thanks to the new AMD RDNA 5 GPU that's somewhat comparable to the 4080 graphics card, and we may have touched on this in a separate video. Maybe with this by 2028. The latest PS6 leak comes courtesy of another YouTuber, Moore's Law is Dead, and the core information apparently comes from a 2023 AMD presentation. MLID does stress that Sony's plans could have changed since then, but obviously these things usually don't change too much. It takes a lot of corporate planning, and by 2023, the PS5 Pro is already like in production, I'd say, in the back end, and it's probably all finalized. And then at this point, you usually have these already locked into as well. Things aren't going to change that much, and obviously, usually consoles are a toned down version compared to what we can get on PC. So you want to be able to mass make it cheap, etc. So basically for this one too, the details, which should feel a little bit dense if you aren't familiar with it. However, the parts you should take away are that the PS6 should be performing the PS5 Pro. That should be expected, but also might cost the same as the base console and consume less power. Optimization, which is key. The leak itself revolves around the PS6 rumored choice of the AMD chipset. As you guys have maybe heard us mention on the channel, Sony and AMD, number one, have worked together for a long time. AMD is basically the console GPU supplier, but as well, they've also been having bigger focus on AI stuff. We've discussed this because PlayStation was utilizing the PSSR, cool technology, but then they also wanted to then have AMD have their own technology integrated with it to basically utilize PSSR with AMD's implementation and kind of combine the AI efforts. So I think two minds stronger. PlayStation can optimize their console, AMD can optimize their GPU, combine the two, and it becomes amazing. And as well, all the information from the PS5 Pro, we've kind of discussed this a lot, that is kind of like the idea of like a beta test. You're utilizing all of these people buying the PS5 Pro as like a tester to learn how AI can make things better, to do machine learning, animations, graphics, ray tracing, or even just optimization, software focuses. All of this is a big deal. So the key aspect of Project Amethyst is the joint effort to develop the next generation hardware and AI architecture, and this is only through PlayStation. Xbox does have like a combination collaboration with AMD, but Sony is the only one who's publicly stated that they are working to develop specific AMD graphics cards and stuff to make everything better. So basically, as they say, this one, the new APU chipset is a Navi 5 that features a 40 to 40 RDNA 5 compute units running at 3 gigahertz and potentially 8 Zen 6 cores. Also only require a 160 watts total base power, and that's basically making it a lot more efficient than the PS5 Pro, so less energy usage, more cores. Also suggests the PS6 performance should be 3 times higher than the original PS5, but ray tracing performance is expected to be better. It's like many years in the future, more AI technology, etc. On paper, the next generation console allegedly features the same core count as the base PS5 system, but because it's using a brand new technology with everything else also optimized, make it better. And when you break it down, the PS6 may actually feature fewer computing units than the PS5 Pro, but because it's a better RDNA 5, that means that there's more core packs and they're just better. So think like you can have maybe a car with 12 engines, metaphor, but then you can go have a Lamborghini with 8 engines, but those 8 engines are better. Maybe even RAM sticks are better metaphors. You can have 4 RAM sticks of 16 gigabytes each versus 4 RAM sticks of 8 gigabytes each. So in theory, the 4 with 16, because they're newer, more optimized, and better, will be better than 4 of a different quality or even 6 of a different quality. Hopefully I explained that well. If not, you guys can make fun of me. So when you break it down, the PS6 may actually get fewer computer units than the Pro, as we mentioned. But we also have things like AI upscaling techniques, like the PSSR, that will come into play, and they'll also optimize things like frame rates, lighting effects, ocean effects, sand, like grass popping up, building walls, textures, development, animations, like a lot of stuff. So ultimately, they also sum up the PS6 AMD chip leak by saying this will be faster than the PS5 Pro. Hopefully. Also speculates that the new console will look wildly better than the PS5 with ray tracing switched on. The part that immediately excites them the most, though, is that Sony is apparently focused on keeping costs low. I agree. What that likely is the result that the PS6 that comes in at around the same price as the PS5, so maybe around that $500 gold point, I think that's good. Maybe 600 with inflation over the years. I'd be okay paying $600 or anything below the current $700 price point for the PS5 Pro, and PlayStation has done quite well, mainly because they've been putting discounts. Unlike Nintendo and Xbox that have raised their prices, PlayStation has been consistently lowering the prices, or as well including things such as bundles, which I think is phenomenal. It's very good. So the Pro model can't quite pull off the top of the end UHD performance consistently, and if paired with better ray tracing abilities, it could leave a very nice visual improvement. So what we're mainly focusing for the PlayStation 6, better ray tracing, better AI implementation, which means better overall animations, graphics, lead time, load times, less hunch on your console. It's not as taxing, with overall more efficient parts, because just time has evolved, and also working with AMD to make things a lot more efficient. This is great. As for when the PS6 will actually land, they basically have a lot of documentation. We've seen that manufacturing will start in 2027, so just only 2 years away, and all signs point towards everything being on track. So a lot of people are now rumored that the PlayStation 6 could hit the shelves in 2028. It will be mostly optimized using a lot of AI that we've already learned from the PSSR and AMD's brand new technology. Should be priced around the same price as the PS5, which makes sense. They want to probably have a more exclusive higher tier option. And as well, we've been seeing a lot more focus on handheld devices too, which all this combined makes things cooler. And of course, I think people are going to be hyped up for it. So this is still technically alleged. There's a little bit more leaks we might cover tomorrow, so subscribe if you guys want. But I think this seems about right. Again, more of a handheld focus, make the price cheap, try to get market share, sell software, make money from software, and of course, try to cut even or make a little bit of profit on your PlayStation console. So I want to hear your thoughts and comments and everything down below. I love discussing this type of stuff. And I appreciate y'all so much for watching. Leave a like and thoughts and subscribe. Talk to y'all so soon.